Alright, guys, let's jump back into this character. Only got a little bit of time tonight, probably like an hour or so, so just gonna start jumping into it. So, yeah, so I actually spent a bit of time the past couple of days going through over here and rearranging the UI so that things will be a little bit easier to do. And I think I might just start building out just a couple of these straps here. So what I'll probably do is duplicate this and then dynamesh it, which I think will be, yeah, so let's dynamesh that. Probably bump up the resolution quite a bit. That's totally fine. And we will shrink it a little bit and fill object. All right. Cool. So this is a technique I like to do where basically I put the mesh behind, and obviously there's some weird things going on there. So let's solo it and figure out, whoa. There we go. Now that is what nightmares are made out of, I tell ya. And that's totally fine. Can turn off solo now. And yeah, so this is a technique I use quite a bit to help build out accessories whilst sort of sketching out this sort of stuff here. So, you know, we have this sort of strap that kind of comes through here. Okay, we're just gonna, and we are just really roughly sort of blocking these sort of things out. And then what I'll probably do is go through and just mask these sort of things out and extract meshes based off of this sketch. So nothing too crazy. It's just about getting stuff down and getting it all in place. So, and again, like with this sort of stuff, I'm not really trying to get it to look amazing, just general shape, so I can extract meshes from it later. Wait. Where do we go? Here we are. Alright. Alright. Cool. So we've got a strap. And I think we'll probably need to do some gloves as well. So let's put symmetry back on. And you know what? Let's start building sort of these straps out here. And coming through. Oh yeah. That's better. Don't know what brush I had, but alright. So that's probably not where we want them. We kind of want them, these straps out here. And again, super rough. We are just putting some things in so that I know kind of what's going on. So what? You know what's funny is what I'll probably end up doing is scrapping this entire method, just looking at the mesh there, but that's fine. Just play around with it for now. So I also want to play around with this a little bit. So let's jump back in, and we got dynamic on. I'm going to turn off the... So, all right. Yeah, so I think probably... So just going to play around with this and try probably extrude this back over. Trying to figure out the best way to do that. Part of me's thinking I should keep it as a separate mesh, but let's see if I do that. Oop. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're after. We'll do that. Yeah, I think that's probably okay. And then what we can do there is then round this out a little bit. Probably. And then this kind of has to like kick up. So probably gonna... Yeah, this is where shit's gonna get a little bit confusing, just because everything's gonna be snapping together. There we go. Man, if anyone knows a better way of doing this, hit me up. Yeah, because... Yeah, so I think I do that, and then like that. Yeah. Whoa. And we are probably going to have to move the cat in a second, because I think she wants to get out. Yeah, so I think that's okay. And then what we'll do is turn on double so I can see what the hell's going on. And then... Okay. I'll be back in a sec. I gotta let the cat out. Okay. Sorry, cat has to be let out all the time. Yeah, and I think if I extrude this like one more time, if I do edge loop, will that do the whole... Yeah. I think... Yeah. You know, I do something like that. I think that's probably the best way of doing it. Yeah, I think that works. Kind of gives it the same. Alright, yeah. We turn dynamic back on. We have to like uncrease all. Okay. So then let's crease all. No, uncrease all, crease, then dynamic. I definitely think we should do creases there, because I think that really helps. And then maybe we'll do okay. All right, let's go back. Let's solo this, because I think we want to do one more in. Yeah. Basically just want to bring this in just enough so that we can have some overlap. I think that'll do. Cool. All right. Now I'm wondering, maybe I should do, let's do something there. So let's, I think is insert an edge loop here, and we're going to use this point to basically build out the zipper thing. But I think maybe that's going to start probably about here. So do that. So I don't think I need the loop that I put in. Nope. Okay, let's do that. And then we want it to kind of come in like so, because then this will round out down the bottom. Cool. All right. Gloves. Let's do some gloves. So it's really hard to sort of tell if these two different gloves are actually different gloves. They definitely seem to have a different sort of strap pattern, but I'm thinking maybe just doing them the same. I think definitely easier. So let's like okay. then they're all 3/4 gloves, so they're going to cut off around the first knuckle of every finger there. So we'll do that. And we can always clean this up a little bit later. Yep, perfect. So we're going to extract that with no thickness and accept solo, because I'm sure this happens all the time. That's fine. So let's grab that and get rid of that. We can delete hidden. And then we need to Z remesh this. So let's go down to maybe like 1. Z remesh. I think we'll take that. That's not too bad. Do have to inflate it just a smidge. There we go. And we can, again, maybe we'll do a crease. And then do dynamic and give it a bit of thickness. Cool. All right. Leave them as is. So now we've got some sort of gloves. What else? Let's do the belt here, which I think can probably just duplicate this and inflate it a little bit to come over, turn off dynamic, and then let's just literally delete this entire row. So literally delete that row, move it up a bit. Maybe we can just give it a bit of a polish, which will, ooh, too much. Too much. Okay, so let's polish by crisp edges. Better. Still too much, so we'll do a little bit. That's better. All right, so we're gonna do that. And double, and let's basically probably still needs a little bit more. Yeah, that's probably better. And then just going to basically line this all up. So do that. I really like making belts. I just feel like it's definitely one of the easier things to make. And when sometimes things are super complicated, it's nice just to do something chill. I need to play around with this dude's underwear. Give it a bit more. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think the fastest way is I could probably project down and probably help. Anyway, okay. So we've got the belt. If anything, we want to make it slightly thicker. And we want it to be about there because it's mainly covering the pants. So get rid of that. Literally just... Okay. I'll do that. And then to pull these vertices out, I'm literally just using the Alt key. You click on them, and then you can just pull against the normal. Super chill. Alrighty. So on this, we've obviously got this little doohickey belt buckle in the center. So we're going to probably put that here. So what we're going to want to do is delete that and start extruding sort of back in on itself. Because what we're going to do is then stupid autosave is extrude. There we go. All right. We're going to have to turn off smart attraction for this. So when things are snapping like so, is because you have attraction turned on in here. So if I do normal, no attraction, now I can go ahead and just move freely, which will make my life a little bit easier with these overlapping parts. So let's, in this instance, pull this down. Okay, and comes quite far down the other side, so let's wait. Literally. And we're just gonna deal with its position after the fact. All right, so we got that BMV. We're just gonna. When you have overlapping meshes like this, I also use the topological move. Is it topological? Yeah, move topological. Means I can use a big brush and not affect anything underneath, which makes life a bit easier. All right, belt. Not the most complicated thing in the world, but again, we are going to want to bulge it out here. So let's pull that all in. And yep, that's fine. Once we put a buckle in, actually, we should have buckles. Clothing. Even if just a placeholder. Let's have a look. Brushes. IMM. I don't think so. Maybe I don't. I definitely have some somewhere. Okay. Let's get rid of that. And for now, we'll just leave it like so. We'll do a quick crease and dynamic. And I think a bit of thickness to that as well, just so we're... There we go. Nope, too much. Yep, good. And then with the regular move brush, we can move this all into place. And we can call that good to go. All right. Definitely want to tackle that mask at some point. I did find some pretty good references. Obviously, I don't think most people have 3 eyes, but this is almost like the exact mask that I'm looking for. And it's great that I can get like this profile. So let's... How do I want to do that? How about for this one, I'll append... You know, it's ironic because we started off with this Dynamesh thing and I'm actually realizing that I probably don't need it. So let's append a sphere. And we will shrink it right down and put it in front of his head. And using a clip brush, which is probably hidden, using a clip curve, let's have a look here. So Dynamesh is on, probably bump up the Dynamesh resolution a bit. Cool. Clip curve, so we're gonna pretty much do something like that. And then, so like that, and something like that. And this is just to give rough shape, so what we do want to do is move that into the head and bump up that resolution a bit. All right, that's better. Okay, so covers the ear a bit. So let's pull that up over the ear. This does make sense. So this kind of comes in under there. And we can start to do that, and then comes up over the ear like that. And then comes back down here. So I think the best thing to do here is probably like something like that. Yep. And probably something like that. And definitely comes under the chin. But we're going to probably do something like that. So it's a bit more like so. And we definitely need it more like so as well. And okay, so nose is there. So probably gonna pull it out and get, let's do here roughly, and then just pull that out a little bit. Yeah, a little wonky, but not terrible. Yeah, okay. And I definitely see, so I'm gonna bring that in, even though we're gonna do some things. I definitely think I just leave it like that for now. And we have that there. Definitely need a little bit more resolution because we're going to pull these little tabs out so that we have those straps. And then I think we have, yeah, one above the ear, one under the ear, and then two up here. So we'll do something like that, and do pull it like that. Okay. All right. This is definitely just about sort of getting the general sort of shape of the mask. So obviously here, based on the concept, this needs to come back down quite a bit. Now I definitely think we'll keep the straps lined up with the ear because I think that makes sense. And I think this as well will make perfect sense as well. But we clearly have a bit of a really strong angle there that you can visibly see, which means I need to pull this back down and pretty much like shrink this right in. Yep. Okay, I think that's probably okay. So what we can do now is just pull that in, and using the damn standard, I will basically sort of kind of draw an outline, I guess. This is more just for me, because I will probably like extract this mesh similar to the clothing. This is just a nice, quick and dirty way to sort of pull the mesh together. Yeah, so like what I'm seeing here is this needs to be like down here, kind of. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but like way more isolated to the rest of the mesh. So I think we want almost something flat here. Okay, so that's that. So maybe we do that. This is why I prefer using like a Dynamesh shape, because you can just sort of sketch things out a little bit more organic and don't have to feel too constrained by topology. You know, like even just there, like super easy just to pull out a circle without having to faff around with topology. All right. And part of me is wondering, do I even bother with the eyes? What I think I'll do is I will sketch them in. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because like these ones are clearly like right on top of each other. And then these ones would be there. And then that one would be there. But then I look here and there's not a lot of space there, which makes me think, okay, this does have to kind of come in a bit, right? Like, and it could be that the actual shape of the face also needs to change. Just sort of trying to, I mean, right now it just looks a bit like that's a bit too long. But then that's the chin. So that kind of needs to be like that. But also that's probably pointing down more. So we kind of need to, all right. Difficult. You can't see the ear. That's the tough part. So yeah, and again, this is all just sketching, just trying to get the right negative sort of space. So like this line's up here, so kind of definitely want this to kind of come across a bit like that. Yeah, so I think even more. Yeah, we did like that. But then this just like feel like this needs to come like right in. Right in. Yeah. All right. I think now that we got this here, I think it's fitting a little bit better. Yeah, I think that fits a bit better. I think we'll bump that up a little bit and draw just some sort of fake circles for now, just to, jeez, could have been better, just to line these up. There we go. All right. God, I just don't like this bit. Makes me think like this should be the base of the helmet or mask. But then I guess you don't really see what's going on there, which means maybe we should have this down a bit more. It's just we don't have a lot of mesh to work with here. Cool. All right. I think that's probably... I mean, if anything, these are bigger. Which is probably going to add to it as well by making those bigger. Help with the proportions, I guess. Yeah, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. That helped a lot, making that a bit bigger. I definitely feel like there's something weird going on here. But that could also just be part of the concept. And then I think just sort of the way this kind of shapes sort of drags off. And then maybe we have a little bit of negative space in here. Kind of. All right. Now I have to let my cat in. Give me a sec. Okay. Yeah, so I won't go too much into that, but I definitely, yeah, I think that looks all right. So then obviously we've got these other kind of weird things going off on the side here. Like that looks like a hose pipe. That will be another job for another day. I definitely think. Still trying to work out the whole schedule for this. Right now I'm working like, I don't know, too much. Probably like 18 of the next 20 days. So it's really hard for me to come up with some sort of, oh yeah, I really kind of like this sort of profile here. Yeah, so it's kind of hard for me to find something that works permanently. Probably going to be looking at Fridays and Saturdays, but at the moment, just where I can make it work. So probably do another, I don't know, another 15 minutes or so, and then probably call it because I've got to go to work tomorrow morning. So for anyone out there that has side hustles or hobbies that take up time, you have my respect because it can be tiring sometimes. All right. Hey. All right. Fill that. Now, I definitely don't want to veer too far away from the concept here. But, yeah, that's obviously a bit too sharp there. But, yeah, I think think that gap is a bit too long, so let's fix that. So like this, sure, but this gap. You know, I think what I need to do just to help me freaking visualize this is to just slap a cylinder in that mask. Yeah, we go. And then we'll just like angle it so that it makes sense. Yeah, that's good. And then we can just chuck that in there. And I think that will help. Yep. Cool. All right. Yeah, I can definitely see some shadow in here, which makes me think that this is a little bit more built out around here, and then we got some negative space coming in here. So let's do. Just don't like this. Just don't like the silhouette. All right. Anyway, not too shabby. Now, I think we need to build this out a bit more. I think got this little lip here, so I'm thinking maybe I'll just yeah. Let's just do it. Let's just bend that down. Give yourself. That's kind of how clothing works as well. Like it sort of bends more towards like the tips here and stuff like that. So I think that'll, yeah, let's do that. All right. So let's turn on dynamic. Probably be better if I crease that particular edge, but we can look at that later. All right. Alrighty, let's get a bit more shape with this sort of, yeah. Perfect. All right. Definitely have to do hair at some point, so let's maybe append another sphere. And we will chuck that in to his head. And move that here, here. All right. So he's got some crazy looking hair. So I'm just going to sort of pull his hair out of here so I have a tiny little bit to work with. I think. Yeah, there we go, there we go, there we go. Again, this is all just... Most of this is all just placeholder, but it really helps, I find, with getting your proportions right and stuff, so... Because I will do hair cards for the hair. He says tentatively. Don't... but, yeah, let's I have an idea of how to get this to work. So let's do that and like that. Give it a little bit of a cool. All right. Now we got that. What I was going to do is put on a really high Dynamesh resolution. Give it a bit of a zhuzh, a bit of a smooth. And then with the move brush, I was going to turn on AccuCurve, which is somewhere in here. Curve, AccuCurve, and my understanding of AccuCurve, and I could be wrong, but yeah, now I can kind of pull sharp bits of the hair out, which I think, yeah, I think right now I think it's probably fine to just leave it relatively symmetrical. But definitely, oh, definitely. No. You know, that actually definitely not as like extreme in some places, but like, you know, like not bad. Not bad. I think we do a couple like yeah, it's almost like using the snake hook brush actually. But not as destructive. Oh yeah. Look at that. That is some do. Maybe if we just go through here with like the damn standard and just kind of separate them out a little bit more. Obviously, go through here. Yeah, I don't know. This is, again, more for placeholder than anything, but see how it turns out. Yeah. And the cat is losing it one more time because she doesn't like being locked in a room. Yeah. All right. I think that. You know what could be cool is instead of dots, do spray. What would that? No. What about if we did snake hook? Snake hook. And we go, okay. But instead of dots, we do spray. What would happen if we did that? Nope. Nope. Cool. All right. And then I think just to give it a bit more volume, kind of give it like this. Cool. And obviously we'll have some straps coming through there. Well, I think it's getting pretty, pretty late, but I'm also just tired from work. So we're going to call it for this one and probably jump on in a couple more days to keep working on this. And then maybe later on the week, even do some games. We will see. So before I sign off, I should probably save it. Oosh. All right. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we got a tiny little bit done. Small steps. Small steps. Don't have to make incredible progress every day. As long as we're making some small progress, that's what's important. All right, guys. I will see you all later.